Hello and welcome to Tomb Raider. I am Alex, also known as Solinus Dracone, and we are going to be starting off a new series here. I am running the version of Tomb Raider that is part of the greatest hits on a ROM through EPSXE. And I feel like this is the best one to use simply for the fact that I had downloaded the PC version and I just had so much trouble with it. It did not work well at all. Was not worth keeping any of the footage that I did from there. So we're going to take a moment to enjoy the cutscene before I launch into my little story.
What's a man gotta do to get that kind of attention from you?
It's hard to say exactly, but you seem to be doing fine.
Well, great. Though truth is, it ain't me that wants you.
Oh?
No, Miss Jacqueline Natla does, from Natla Technologies. You know, creator of all things bright and beautiful.
Seal it, Larson.
Ma'am.
Feast your eyes on this, Lara. How does that make your wallet rumble?
I'm sorry. I only play for sport.
Then you'll like a big park. Peru, vast mountain ranges to cover, sheer walls of ice, rocky crags, savage winds, and there's this little trinket. An age-old artifact of mystical power is buried in the unfound tomb of Qualapec. That's my interest. You could leave tomorrow. Are you busy tomorrow?
Okay, so there were clearly a few little bugs and glitches with the video there, but I think that's probably worth it just for the sheer amount of trouble I saved on having to get the dang game working. At least we can get some kind of video capture on this, so I'm satisfied with that. I decided to go with the ROM version after finally figuring out how to make it work on EPSXE. Oi, get out of that. Yeah, that's something we have to deal with, unfortunately, on this version is the loading screens, but I'm not too worried about that, really. Yeah, let's get out of there. I guess I better go ahead and actually start the game, because this is a damn impatient game. Alright, let's get going. Another cutscene. Okay, so now the game begins in earnest. And what I was saying is I did download the PC version of Tomb Raider 1 through Steam, and it just didn't work out for me at all. I had trouble with getting the controller to work, I had trouble with getting the video to work and to be able to record it. I still didn't manage to get it so that I could capture cutscene and gameplay all in one clean recording, and so I managed to figure out how to get my emulator working. So this is going to be the version I play, and even if there are little glitches with the video, and from what I'm seeing here, apparently there's going to be some problems with the graphics, it's still worthwhile in my opinion. Yeah, do your little stand, girl. Alright, cool. And we got secret number 1 of this particular cave. I've got to get used to the controls on this one. I played it a little bit differently on the PC version. I had actually recorded an entire episode before I realized that I wasn't able to get any background music. It was the straight-up PC version. So, yeah, that was unacceptable to me because there's some awesome background music going on in this game, and I don't want to miss even a second of it. So, some of the basic mechanics. Lara starts off with her 2 automatic pistols. Well, I wouldn't say automatic pistols. She starts off with her 2 regular little pistols that they are unique in that they have the unlimited ammo. And this is actually the first time I ever remember seeing even an instance of the idea that you could dual-wield pistols. Now, this game is all about getting your space understanding right. You've got to understand how space works in this game. The game it's a puzzle game more than anything else. It is not so much an action-adventure game as for you to figure out where you need to go and what you can do in any given situation. So the idea is that you need to know how much space you need to do a run-up jump and how the trajectory of your jump is changed by doing something as simple as hitting the action button to make the grab motion. It's a very precise game and it can trip you up at times. Now, this is also the first game I remember playing that actually had rolling, which, that's actually a very useful thing. One of my favorite things to do is to roll while pulling my weapons out, and that just kind of leaves me ready for whatever happens to be coming from behind me. So, there are little ways that I will show how you would get around certain obstacles, how you would navigate certain types of terrain, and just the basic rules for how to play the game and get good at it, so to speak. I'm going to give a bit of a shout out to my buddy Will, who grew up with in high school, more or less, and he's the one that turned me onto this game, albeit on the Sega Saturn version. But I've been playing it ever since, mainly just the original version there. You may have noticed that whenever there is an enemy, that Lara will point her pistols at them, and that's your way of knowing that it's time to attack that enemy. Now, I will say that you gotta be careful about how you attack, because if you are holding down the button, you are actually going to be you're going to be shooting at the same exact enemy, even if there are others around you. So you gotta know when to let off the action button so that you can cease your attack and have Lara point at another critter. Now, in this room, you may notice there are wolves below. And wolves, if you start to shoot at them, or heck, any enemy, if you start to shoot at them, they will run to cover. You can see that these guys have basically just run off of all the screen, and they're just trying their best to keep away from me. So one way that you can lure enemies out just a little bit is to hang above them. This will attract them. They will see your shadow on the floor and attack you. Yeah, attack that shadow. So that brings them out just a bit. And that'll handy-dandy allow you to pick off a few more shots on them. Holding the look button is appropriate, because if you hold the look button after you've targeted an animal, and if you're holding down the attack button, you will maintain your bead on that enemy, and you will be able to see where they're running. So that can be very handy. So, yeah, there's lots of ways that you can play this game. It's a pretty good game. I did enjoy it, and I think it still holds up even today. Gotta be honest, I'm not too interested in any of the new Tomb Raider games. Really anything 3 or above is beyond my kin. I just kind of topped out on 2 and I got bored of the series. After when 3 started introducing new mechanics, then, that's sort of when I got turned off. This is a hard game, and that's one of the great draws of it when it was brand new, is that it was a very hard game. And I kind of liken it in many ways to Dark Souls, simply because it prided itself on its difficulty, and it's also the first game that actually showed rolling. Now, as you can hear, there's something down there that wants to eat my giblets. So I'm going to try to run across and see if I can draw this bastard out so that I'd be able to actually take a few pot shots at him. Yeah, there we go. And as you can see, I'm holding down the look button, and that lets me when you hold down the look button and let go, then as long as you're still holding down on the action button, then you'll be able to see where your enemy is going. Now, I kind of screwed up there a little bit by dropping down before I needed to, but you can totally snipe them off from a safe distance if you want to. And I lost quite a bit of health there. So you want to be a little bit ginger about how you carry yourself in this game. It can be a little bit challenging. That's not actually one of the stage secrets, although I wish it would be. So as you can see, it just kind of ejects us out here. And I'm just going to try and get the first stage or two done of this game. The Peruvian stages are actually fairly easy. This one and the next one. This is the Caves. That's the name of this particular stage, is the Caves. And the second stage is the Lost City of Vilcabamba. So, that's pretty cool. One thing I am going to miss, I'm afraid, or just be sad about, that was in the PC version, but it's not on this one, is that you have to do save points on these console versions. You cannot actually you can't actually just save wherever you want. So, I don't know, I'm okay with this. It leaves room for me to kind of tighten up my game, because if you could just save anywhere you want, then you kind of get complacent about it. So that's fine, and they put the saves in sensible locations. So, it kind of helps you to keep track of things. Now, you'll notice there I did one of the little roll grabs, and that can be pretty useful for when you're trying to get over the edge and grab on hold. Pardon me, commentary's a little interrupted while I deal with these wolves. Yes, this background music, that's why I did this version. Cool. Of course, the danger is already passed, so it's a little bit moot. A little bit gets in the way there, but whatever. Ooh, almost didn't make that one. Yes, great way to interrupt the music if you don't want to be hearing it. Just grab a secret. Come on, get up on it. You gotta be very precise in this game. One other thing to take note of is that sometimes when you trip a switch, which I'll be displaying in a bit, then you will have a brief moment where the camera will be taken away from you, and it will point to where you're actually trying to get. Thought I heard something. Nope, it was my imagination. And one quick way to deal with that is just to tap the look button, like I just did, and that'll get the focus back on you. And sometimes it's important to do that, because if you don't, then you might miss what it is that you were trying to open. And I think that'll actually be displayed right now on this particular instance. Gonna go ahead and pull this switch up here. That opens the door, and it pans the camera out, and we can see what just opened. If we take too long, however, then that door will close on us, and we won't be able to get in. So I was able to do just a quick running jump upward and make it through the doors. Yep, there's that background music. Man, just the lovely atmospheric tones. 3 shots get the wolves. Good times. So you can safely walk onto these and drop down, but you do want to be careful about how you open up hazards in the future. Simply because you can be dropped onto something you weren't ready for, and then you're screwed. So I'll show other ways to handle that when you're dealing with crumbling bricks. This is not really going to be a terribly dank kind of run, but I'm just going to take it at the pace that I've always taken it. Always a good idea to walk up to the edge. So here, it pays to take a look for a moment and see how far this is away. It looks like 2 blocks away, although it could be more. So there are technically 2 ways that you can do that. You can just jump forward and grab onto the edge, or you can do what I'm going to do and do 1 hop back, which gives you the perfect amount of space for a running jump, 1 block wide. You just run forward and start pressing and holding the jump button. There's a delay on the jump, and that's for a reason, is because you have to properly time your jumps. So, as you can see, they're kind of trying to bait you out into going and grabbing that med kit, and then you fall prey to a wolf. So, the game is pretty good at throwing you little troll moments where you gotta be cautious, you gotta be careful. And the door opens, I tap the look button, and that takes me out of cutscene, and here I am. Ouch. Lost a little bit of health. No matter. And dive on in. Great. Got all 3 secrets. Getting secrets in this game isn't as necessarily rewarding as it would be in Tomb Raider 2, where the secrets actually open up some of the cooler items and tons of extra ammo. Not to mention there's a bonus stage you get for unlocking all the secret items. Here, this place starts off right away with a battle royale. I immediately like to run into the tunnel on the left there, take those wolves by surprise, and then run on out. Notice how she grits her teeth when she's in fight mode. I'm pretty damn sure there's another one. Yep. There we go. Got him. My strategy to this stage is to just do a quick circuit around. Oh, one thing to notice, when you put your pistols away, life bar is gone. Take them out, life bar is back up. Good to know. So I like to do a circuit around the outside of the stage, and that helps me pick off as many enemies as possible, and leave me free to do the rest of the stage in relative peace. Just 3 taps of the button. I will note that you can actually do much faster fire if you hammer the button repeatedly. And I'm going to give that a try on this trap up here. Yeah, it doesn't make much difference here. And I got bit because of it, so more fool me. It's a life pack here. A small med kit which will replenish half of your health. Very useful. You'll find a lot of these in the game, and you definitely want to make use of them. Bats. And as you can see, the roll is very valuable. Not only does it advance you 1 square, it has you facing the opposite direction so you can hit whatever's behind you there. So make good use of the roll. Back into this original tunnel where the wolves were. Run through here and that'll trip those bats. There's the other one. And 1 more enemy over here. Now if you just, if you run into the square that's in front of this door, you will trigger a bear to come out the other one, which that just happened. And you just want to spend as much time as possible in the air, simply because that's going to get you out of the way of the animals. So yeah, I always am jumping repeatedly whenever I'm under fire, whenever I'm under attack, and whether I'm attacking back, is simply because I want to actually not die. So just do a couple hops back, and good. Now, we don't technically have to do any of this optional stuff in this stage, but I like to. Gonna dive in. And I'm going to try to see if I can manage to open up the secret in one of these rooms. I'm just playing like I would normally play. I'm going to try to explain some of the mechanics, but, you know, I'm just going to try to play as I play. These switches, if you actually manage to point at the square that they're actually on, and just hold down the action button, you will actually float into place to pull the switch, so you don't have to be too damn precise about it. I always thought this area was very pretty, even for the graphics at the time. This is a damn pretty area. You know, they made good use of the lighting and colors. This is back when IDOS gave a damn. I suppose they still do give a damn. I don't give much credit to the new games, and I shouldn't rag on new games. They obviously have a fan base. So just grab that magnum ammo and this med pack. And that's one of the secrets for this stage. You do the you do the dive. Oh, let's take a quick look at those little snake statues over there. I think they're worthwhile. Yeah, just gonna look at the snake statues. Oh, that's beautifully creepy. Lovely. So you can do a dive by holding the walk button when you're jumping forward. So walk up to the edge, jump forward, and dive. And that actually gives you just a little bit more trajectory when you hit the water. So that's one thing you can do down here, and there's actually a second secret that you can pick up from this underwater area. I should note this underwater area, completely optional. It's just to allow you to get some of the extra goodies that are hiding around this stage. And in a game like this, you want to get extra goodies. So, okay, to demonstrate the lever tactic, you just really honestly have to get near enough to the lever and hold the action button, and you will float over to it. It is very forgiving in this game. So I'm just going to pull myself up, grab this, flick this a switcher, and this door opens up. So there was absolutely no point to that other than just getting one or two minor trifles. The real meat and potatoes of the stage is found back there. You have to go through a locked door. To get to the lock, or to get to the key you need for the lock, you go over here, where this switch is. And again, that's what the game is all about. You've got to figure out the puzzle of an area. You've got to be observant. You've got to know where you are. You've got to keep track of the stage as a whole, rather than just as one. So I'm going to do a hop and jump with an action button trajectory to let me land there. And yeah, that was a little bit of a screen flicker, unfortunately. It's kind of hard to avoid it. I don't think it's going to mess with my ability to play this game. Cool. Managed to do this jump. Grab the big med kit, which will restore 100% health. And just drop off the ledge there. Now you could also just pull this block out and jump up to that ledge, but, you know, more's the better the way I did it. This is just so much better with the music. You have no idea how boring it is just playing it with absolutely no music going on in the background, just the ambient tones. I don't know what they were thinking with their Steam release, but they could have done a better job than this. Some kind of a PlayStation emulator, or at least, you know? It just doesn't make sense to release a DOS version of a game that had a better version available. But that's just me. So once you've pushed the block out far enough, draw your pistols and shoot down the bat that bothers you. You can do a quick jump back or a hop step up, whatever you want to do, and here's the key right here. And I'll just hop a couple spaces left, and don't forget to pick up the golden idol. You will kick yourself if you forget to pick up the golden idol. Always get the golden idol, otherwise you cannot complete this stage. Just do a jump up onto this block, and we're going to piss off a bat. There's a save point. I could use it right now if I wanted, but I prefer to just clear out a little bit more of what's going on in the area, because there's a bat. Perfect. And watch for dark corners. You can actually find things in dark corners, like this little med kit. I miss Laura saying "aha." She says that in the in Tomb Raider 2. Now, one thing to note about the save points is that they will actually save the direction that you're pointing, so might want to point in the direction you intend to go. Otherwise, you can get discombobulated, and that's no fun. Okay, hop over, drop down, do a roll, do a barrel roll. Yeah, I made the joke. And now that we have the, quote, keys, end quote, to this stage, we can easily enough proceed through. Run up to the keyhole on the wall, action button will bring up your quest items menu, and that satisfying click. Ooh, arrow traps, arrow traps. Wolves. Wolves. There are more wolves. Watch out for all the more wolves. Good, good. Made it through that without terrible injury. Now the next part of the stage is these little 3 doors. And fairly simple. You run through one, and you open up the next, and so on and so forth. Yep. Take observation of your surroundings. It's not too terribly bad. Unlike Dark Souls, this is very much a platforming game, and it's properly built for it too. The jumps, huge mechanic part of this. If you don't know how to do the jumps, you are really going to be in trouble in this game. And I don't normally like puzzle games. The fact that this managed to do as well as it did for me is quite a testament to how good this game is, I think. I didn't enjoy this sort of thing, and I rarely have enjoyed this sort of thing since. But it's just got a nice enough combination of attributes, you know, good mechanics, good solid mechanics that it sticks to, really. As well as decent background and reasonable graphics, all things considered. I mean, yeah, it's not great graphics, but for the time, you know, this was pretty damn good. I don't care if Lara has triangle tits. You know, the game was about the atmosphere, the ambience. Okay, good, good. Grab the shotgun ammo. And just roll our way down. Don't forget the small med kit in the corner here. We're going to be needing these med kits as we proceed through the game. So drop on down, hop on over, and here's the second of the doors that have been opened. Now I mentioned before that you can tackle the crumbling blocks in one of 2 ways. Either just stand on them and drop in, or you can run over them and catch them as they're going down. You get a brief second or 2 of being able to walk on them before no more, so I'm going to show that. You can run across them. Now, of course, you could have done it the way that I did it, which is to pull your way up, or you could have tried to brave that treacherous narrow trap there. Granted, it's just a fall into the water, but, you know, why not save time where you can? The game's not necessarily about doing everything flashy. You can do things in a time-saving fashion. Piss off, bat. Yeah, bats are kind of, you know, the worst we have to worry about right at this moment. There is not too much else of value here. Pull the switch. And the final door opens. Take a moment outside just to make sure there's nothing else here. And we'll do another save. Yep, overwrite game. Roll, drop, and don't drop down here. Don't drop down here, you will die. Shimmy over, and drop onto this ledge here. And then just do a safe little drop down here, and a safe little drop down here. And you're ready for the next stage. Now here, notice right away, there are switches on the floors. These little conspicuous plates. And oh my, guillotines. Now, one surefire way to deal with the guillotines and other hazards like this, where it's just one square and you have to get through it quickly, is wait till it's safely by and roll. That's all you gotta do. Just get close enough and roll through it. Done. And done. See? No muss, no fuss. Now clearly when we pull the switch, this door is going to open and we'll just proceed on through, and that's not what happened at all. So yeah, they trolled you here. Now this can be a bit of a problem. These bears are fast. If you try to pull yourself up out on any point of this pool, he's going to get you. So let's just go ahead and proceed down through here. There we go. Nice and safe and simple. You actually have to go through here because the switch that opens the door to the door is up here, and can't proceed without it. Yeah, I hear you, bro. I hear you. Yep, there's the locked door to get out. And we have to consider how we're going to handle this guy. I can't see him right now, but trust me when I say I am aiming at him. Where'd you go, buddy? Oh, did you go upstairs? Huh. There you are. Cool. Alright, awesome. Managed to do that with no harm to myself. And I'm just going to take one moment rather than finishing the stage, as I'll show you a little something of some importance here. Just in case you happen to forget to get the golden idol for some reason, there is a switch over here that will halt the guillotines. So you will be able to safely make your way back through and go get that idol. But just, it's better not to forget the idol in the first place. Click the golden idol into the slot. And the door opens, and we are done with this stage. So we got 2 out of 3 secrets, 29 kills and 12 pickups. I'd say that's good. Overwrite the game. And yeah, that brings us into stage 1-3, which I think that is a good enough stopping point for right now. I think we've done a good enough job in getting through the first 2 stages, and we're at roughly 30 minutes, which is where I want to try and get these videos to. So thanks everybody for watching. I am Alex, also known as Solanus Dracone, and this has been Tomb Raider. Thank you very much, and good night.